Hello, and welcome to today's YouTube little mini class. So happy to have you here today. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Tonya, and I am the founder of yogabytonya.com. If you go to my website, you'll see that I have a class library and I also have an online membership where I offer weekly live classes with class replays. Today's class is more of a therapeutic class. It's for helping you to strengthen your hips. And when I work with hip strengthening, I really like to incorporate some mobility movement, some deeper strengthening of the tissues. So that means we slow down and we work more repetitive and more in a strengthening manner. So with that being said, this is just a 15-minute class and we're going to go ahead and get started. And the first thing I want you to do is just to come to a seated position that works best for you. You're going to close your eyes. Take a deep in-breath in and stay for the exhale. Two more just like that. Good. And then just blinking your eyes open, having a gentle gaze. Good. So for our first exercise is a bit of a mobility work and some strengthening. So we're going to come into a seated wide leg here. You're dorsiflexing your feet. So you're really active in your feet here. You're turning your right big toe towards the mat, and then you're dragging this foot over to the left leg. So you're pressing on that heel, creating a little bit of tension. And then when you get over to a stopping point, you'll just come to a natural stopping point. You'll turn the knife edge of the foot towards the mat, and you're just going to drag it over. So this is our movement from side to side. And what you're doing here is you're making sure you're dragging that heel. So you're putting pressure on that heel, really having to work this thigh. Also, you're internally and externally rotating your femur here. And then we're just going to work the other side, bring the big toe towards the mat, and then the knife edge of the foot. It's really putting some pressure on that heel. So you'll want to have your heel on some sort of surface where you can add some pressure, add some resistance to this movement. Good. And you're just going to come to stillness, plant the feet down, go ahead and windshield wiper the knees. It's going to be a big movement or a smaller movement. And then we're just going to come to our side. If you have a couple of blocks, go ahead and grab them. If you don't have blocks, just go ahead and maybe roll up a blanket or a towel or find something that will work for you. You can always just pause this video. And we're going to come to our side. So on our side here, what I want you to do is lift that side waist away from the mat. imagine there's a wall behind you, the back of the head, the hips, and the shoulders are pressing in to that wall. So you're lifting your side, you're going to extend or bring this top knee, which for me is my right knee, to the top of the mat and extend this left leg long. Again, I'm dorsiflexing this left foot, and then you're just lifting that leg up towards the ceiling. You're working the inner thigh here. Then bring the leg down and then lift back up. Leg comes down and then you lift back up. I like to work 30 seconds for each side, but just because we have a little bit of time restraint here, we probably won't be working each side for that long, so I can get you through some exercises here. You're going to feel that inner thigh. It starts to fire up. You can even hold as you lift up. You're going slow to go far in these movements. And then you're just going to remove the block from under your head or pillow, blanket, whatever you're using. Roll to your back. Couple of breaths here. And we're rolling back to this left side. Bringing a prop underneath your head just for some support. And this time, again, lifting the side waist away from the mat. Extending the right leg long, flexing the foot. And you're wanting to keep the hip, the knee, and the ankle all in the same line. So notice I'm not down here. I have a nice straight line. And then from here, we're just lifting up a little bit towards the ceiling and then coming back down. Really working this outer hip area. So make sure you're keeping your waist, your lumbar here very stable. So notice I'm not dipping in to my waist here. Keeping everything really stable. Really making this outer glute area work. Noticing your breath. Good. And then bending your knees, rolling to your back. And just taking a couple of breaths. Good. And so now we're going to come to the other side. So I'm just going to roll to the back of the mat so that I can see you and you can see me. My back's not to you. And then you're just going to set up. So again, you're stacking your hips here, which makes that sideways lift away from the mat. Imagine there's a wall behind the head, shoulders, and hips, and your heels here. And then you're going to bring your left knee up to your block, rest it there, extend the right leg long, flex the foot, and then you're just lifting the inner foot towards the ceiling. Breathing, not holding the breath. Building some heat in that inner thigh, some tension. Good. And then you're just going to roll to your back, move your props out of your way. And take a couple of breaths. And coming back to your side. Again, setting up here, stacking your hips, lifting the sideways away, and then you're extending this left leg long. So again, your hip knee and ankle, they're in the same line. So notice my foot's not down or up too high. Really lengthening here through the side waist. So I'm not concaving down in my hip. My hips are stacked. And then you're going to lift the heel towards the ceiling. It's not a big movement. You're going to feel those muscles engage up your outer glute here. These muscles have a tendency to be weak. And you want to do about 30 seconds for each exercise here. A minute if you can do it. And then you're just gonna bend your knee, set your props to the side, and then roll to your back. Inhale and exhale. Good. And then just holding on to your right knee or the back of the thigh. Just going to draw some circles with the knee. So what we're doing here is we're just moving the head of the femur in the hip socket. And then reverse, go in the opposite direction. And then plant the right foot down, lift the left knee up. And then just drawing circles with the femur head in the hip socket. Moving the synovial fluid here in the socket. It just helps to lubricate, reverse, go in the opposite direction, lubricate the hip. Should also feel really nice. If it doesn't, don't do it. And then plant the foot down. Take a couple of breaths here. You're going to grab your block and place it between your thighs here. Palms come to the mat, externally rotate your shoulders. Feet are hip width apart. You're squeezing your block, and you're just going to begin to lift up through the vertebrae, going slow here. Moving all the way up to the thoracic spine. You'll just find a natural stopping point. And then you're going to reverse down the vertebrae towards your hips. And then you'll lift those hips back up, slowly moving up the vertebrae. And then reversing. Making sure you're breathing deeply. Exhaling completely. Maybe when it hold when you get to the top here of your bridge. And then reverse. So we're just doing 3 of those. Again, I recommend doing a little bit more if that feels comfortable. I'm going to hug your knees to your chest and then maybe rock side to side. And then from here, you're just going to exhale, let the knees come to the left side in a twist. Inhale through center. Exhale the knees to the left side in a twist. Good. And then we're just going to do a spinal rock or 2 coming up to our knees. So this is our final exercise for this hip strengthening series. We're going to extend the right leg long. So you're coming to the knife edge of the foot here. You can have your block if that's helpful, or you just bring your palms to your hips. You're going to press that heel away from you and then pull the foot towards the midline. So this, again, isn't a big movement. Working on some inner strength of the thigh and that glutes. Making sure you're breathing. And then we're just going to come back to center and then extend the left leg long. So I need to move or my leg will go off my mat. We're extending the leg long and then you're just pressing the knife edge of the foot away from you and then drawing back in. So if you're hypermobile here, you're not going to come into your full range of motion. Again, this is more about strengthening. Just going to engage those muscles, push the leg away, and you're pulling in. Again, you're putting some pressure on that foot, creating a little bit of resistance. You may need to go a little bit further to feel any movement. Also, if you don't feel anything, that's okay. Some of those muscles are still working. Although you should feel something. Good. And then we're just going to come back. You're going to come to a seated position that feels comfortable to you. Palms to your heart space, bow your head. 3 breaths. Thank you so much for joining me with so much gratitude. Namaste. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you got a lot out of this exercise. Just know that you can come back to this anytime you feel like you have achy hips or tight hips. These are wonderful exercises to do daily. I highly recommend them, especially if you have any sort of achy hips or tight hips or issues with your hips or even your lower back. These exercises are going to be very helpful. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Please reach out to me if you have any questions. Also, please support me by subscribing to this channel, liking this video, and leaving a comment. Thank you so much.